Okay, here is homework sheet 8, some help. First question, to remove some brackets. Well, we know that we're going to do x times the 2x squared to give us 2x cubed, x times the 4x, and then x times the 1. And then we're going to multiply by the negative 6 times the 2x squared, negative 6 times negative 4, and lastly negative 6 times the 1, and we're going to tidy the whole thing up to get so many x cubed, so many x squareds, so many x's, and then a number at the end. Question 2, factorize. Now remember, first thing we do when we do factorising is we look for a common factor. So do we have any numbers or letters that we can use as a common factor here? And yep, if we look closely, we've got 3, 3 and negative 18. So they all appear in the 3 times table. So we're going to take 3 as a common factor, which will leave p squared, blah 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 blah. And then once you've done the common factor, you can then factorise it into a pair of brackets. Question 3, a fraction question. Remember, BODMAS says we have to do the adding part first of all. So 3/8 add 4/5, get the new bottom number, which will be 40 in this case. Once you get the new top numbers, we can simplify that out. And then in mathematics, off means multiply. So we're then going to do 2 over 3 times whatever you got over 40. And do a wee bit of cancelling, the 2 and the 40 will cancel, maybe the 3 and this number will cancel to get your answer. Question 4. Long time since we did one of these. Find the gradient. Now the gradient, remember, for a straight line comes from the formula y equals mx add c. And this number here is the gradient. So what we need to do is we need to take this equation up here and rewrite it as y equals something x plus c. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's write it down again. 4x minus 3y equals 6. So I want this 4x from that side over here. And that will leave me with negative 3y equals, and you can work out what goes on this side. And then to get y on its own, then the negative 3 is going to have to move over. And as it's times in here, when it moves over, it's going to be divide. Once you've done all that and you've got something which looks like y equals mx plus c, then you just need to pick out the number before the x for the gradient. So don't forget, that the gradient is, that's your final answer. Question 5, we need to work out the equation outline this time. So a wee bit different to the last question, still straight line. This time we're going to use the formula y minus b equals mx minus a. Okay, so we're looking for numbers which are going to go in here for b, here for a, and here for m. So let's think how we're going to get these. I'm going to use this 3 and 7 to replace my a and b in the formula. So the 7's going in here, and the 3 is going in here. What am I going to put in for m? Well, if you remember back, we've got a little formula which says m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so from your points here and here, we're going to use these in the formula. So the 7 goes in here, the 3 goes in here, the -1 goes in here, and the -1 goes in here. Now I know that looks a bit messy, but once you've done it all, you should get a nice wee simple number coming out. Once you've got that wee simple number, it goes back in there. So you'll end up with something like y minus 7 equals whatever that simple number is times x minus 3. And then if you remove those brackets and tidy up, you'll get your final answer. Question 6, a volume question. So I've split the shapes up into the hemisphere. So the volume of a full sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, but we've got half a sphere, so we're going to divide it by 2. And then the volume of the cylinder, you're not given this because you're supposed to remember it, it's pi r squared h. And if you look at the picture, we know that the radius of the hemisphere is 2.4. Okay, it tells us that in the picture. So we just put that into this formula. For the cylinder, we know the radius of that is also 2.4, so that can go in the formula. And again, from the picture, we know that the height of the cylinder is 9.5, so we can put that in for the height. All of that in your calculators, add them up to get the total. And remember, it says that you've got to answer to one significant figure. So don't forget to do the rounding at the end. Question 7. We're pretty good at these. The linear scale factor is, and then we work out the area scale factor, and then we can work out what the new area is. Okay, we know the area of the small one, it tells us is 0.6 centimetres squared. Okay, we're trying to work out the area of the big one, so that's going to tell you what goes on the fraction top and bottom. Remember, we need to square that, and then we times it by the 0.6 to work out what the new area is. And then finally, number 8, probably the easiest question of the lot. A 2.4% increase, 100 add 2.4, 102.4%, turn it into a decimal, 1.024, and then you've got your 1.024 to the power times the starting value is. Okay, and remember the question's asking to the nearest 1,000. And that should be us this week, guys. Hopefully not too bad.